Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 17th of August, comes to you from London. And we're starting to see quite a lot of red on the screen this morning, so suggests that markets are suffering a little bit. Looking at the dollar, first of all, this is the weekly, daily, and 60-minute cloud chart, long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market. Above the cloud we're bullish, below the cloud we're bearish essentially. So we're seeing short-term bearishness creeping in on the dollar, just hitting that resistance level at around 93. So for the moment just struggling to make that new high. We're bullish in the medium term, but still bearish either side of that. So it just tells us that we're just seeing a little bit of a fallback from that resistance level. That means the euro is looking stronger against the dollar, and we're holding that short-term bullish trend there, but watching for a new low below that March level. Looking at the sterling, we're sitting at 138 this morning, so just weaker against that dollar. Have tried to push higher, but medium and short-term bearish versus the dollar. Still long-term bullish, but really has hit the buffers there on the chart. Taking a look at euro sterling, we're seeing here that sterling is falling against the euro this morning, so that's just looking a bit weaker as well. Taking a look at Bitcoin, we're sitting at $46,000, pretty steady here. We've been ranging between sort of 45 and 47.50. We're in a sideways move here at the moment, but the fact that we've got back above the cloud is bullish, and we've got an upside target to $83,000 for Bitcoin, so that's quite significant. The S&P 500 index did edge higher yesterday, still bullish on all three time frames, making new highs. Really quite a clear trend here, so this will be very clear when it breaks. We've got upside targets 11% higher on the medium and long-term charts. The S&P 500 index is down this morning on the future, and the Nasdaq also similarly lower, so we might see markets open lower today. The VIX volatility is slightly up, so the fear index is just turning a little bit into bullish territory there, so not good for the market, but by far away not a big worry whilst we're at these historically low levels. Taking a look at the FTSE future, we're down slightly this morning. The DAX in Germany is down 1/3%. The CAC Quarante is down 0.4%. Japan was down. We did see quite big falls in China. The Shanghai Composite down 2%. That big fall that we saw in July, a little bit of recovery, further fall, a little bit worrying for Chinese markets. We don't really want to see new lows and activating these downside targets. The Sensex in India only slightly up, and the Aussie market down 1%. So we are just seeing markets suffering a little bit there. Taking a look at soft commodities, we've got sugar up 1% this morning. Wheat is down, but still looking very strong on the long term with long-term targets. Corn is 0.7% higher this morning. Gold is up to 1792, so recovery underway there, looking like we'll get back above that $1,800 level. A little bit scary moment there the last few weeks with gold prices falling, but the fact is we seem to have found support around the previous lows. So we just need to watch that. We've held on to the long-term bull trend. Silver also up this morning, but not looking quite as strong as gold, and has a lot more work to do on the medium-term chart. So that's one to watch as well. The other precious metals, we've got platinum down very slightly and palladium down just 0.6%. Has really sort of recovered most of that big fall that we saw in June. But the reality is that's still medium-term bearish. So precious metals not out of the woods. Looking at copper, we've pulled back a little bit on copper. We're having had an amazing run over the last year, so we're just seeing that a little bit weaker as well. US 10-year yields falling right back to 1.23%, so inflationary concerns disappearing again. So we are seeing in the short term we're bearish, and the medium term we're bearish on the yield. So that's quite key. Taking a look now at the energy mix. First of all, just looking at container rates. I was looking at this. This is the China-Europe container rate, looking very strong here, and no signs of a move to the downside. And if you look at the point and figure targets, looking at the 1% chart log scale here, we see that we do have a target some 27,000, so it looks like the container rates could still double further. Very hard for people to believe, but that's what the charts are saying. Brent crude, we're worried about here, just making a lower low, looking like this is really starting to fall away. We're in short-term bearish territory. This is the daily and the 60-minute chart. My daily, my 60-minute, and my 1-minute. These are the very short-term targets. So looking like we will go lower, some 2% lower. 67.50 is the support level. That's where the targets are pointing to. Below that, we would be worried. US nat gas did recover a little bit yesterday, but not enough really to take the chart bullish. We do have a new target back to $4.29, so it'll be interesting to see if we can manage that. Coal is sitting steady this morning. The chart still looks very stellar on coal. Targets to 112, 113. That's the next stop for coal. Very interesting to see that there. Emissions just struggling this morning. We do have these upside targets. We've activated a new one to 74.10 with the recent recovery, so that's quite good news. And 62.10 is the next stop on the short term. We just need to break this 58 level is quite key. Looking at gas markets this morning, we're down around 2%, but given the moves we've seen of late, really hardly anything to worry about. Still very bullish on the charts. German power down 0.7%, again still pushing higher, so again well within the realms of the trend upwards, and we're seeing also just Nordic power down 0.25% on the quarterly, but again that's still looking very strong indeed. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.